All right, CashColorCannabis, a high level of conversation. I got my guests in the building with me, man. What's up, guys?
How you doing, sir?
All right, well, man. For those who don't know who y'all are for some reason and are watching or listening later, introduce yourselves, man.
Well, I'm Skinny DeVille, Nappy Roots representative. How y'all doing?
This your boy Fish Skills, also a Nappy Roots representative.
Yeah.
Gotta represent all the time.
Hey, Skills is also a anti-NCAA person as well, man. He another one in the building.
Yeah. I don't mess with NCAA. They have no purpose really.
Nah, not no more. You know what I'm saying? Not no more really. But that's a whole different conversation.
Yeah.
We talking about that all night, man.
It's like
I agree.
Yeah, I came here to
pay
talk
them
about
boys, man.
They should be able to get paid.
I say if you're gonna get paid, man, go to one of them leagues where they pay you, man. You going over here for free publicity, man. Y'all rapping sometime, man. Y'all coming over here for free publicity. Do not do that. Do not do that. You know that. Absorb it and love it. True, man. But it's whatever, man. I want to know about these boys right here because I remember, like it came up, and shout out to my girl Ty who actually recommended, having y'all come on. And
shout out to Ty, man.
Yeah, when she had mentioned the name, I was like, oh shit. I was like, yo, Nappy Roots was my shit, man. She was like, yo, they in the city. And I was like, nah, I didn't know that. Then she started saying the podcast, and I'm like, the podcast?
Oh yeah.
And she put me onto the podcast, and I started learning about what we have right here, which is the craft beer that y'all put out.
Yeah. Shout out to Ty, man. She wrote when we went independent, she wrote our first bio.
Really?
She was part of our first steps of independent and hip hop.
Well, let's speak about your life in hip hop because I remember when Nappy Roots first came out. I had mentioned y'all actually did crazy well when it came to Billboard. You know what I'm saying, as far as with the sales and everything. It was almost like an out of the blue situation when you think about all the other acts that were actually out at that moment. Speak about how the group came about, one, and then speak about building a career in that industry at that time, and then then eventually stepping away.
I mean, we started back in college, and that was late '90s, early 2000s. Back then, it was an adventure.
Yeah.
But that was in the '90s.
Yeah.
So a lot has happened between then and now that I have to just kind of slim it down, and we'll be in here all day talking about the micro parts that made us who we are as Nappy Roots. But we made a lot of incremental steps coming out of school, and some of us were graduating, some of us didn't get a chance to because the deal we had with Atlantic Records, required us to be here, and
not in school.
You had to make a decision. Are you going to try to grind and get it, or are you going to try to get your education? So, lucky for some of us, we was able to graduate.
Yeah.
Some they weren't, and that was the early 2000s when Watermelon Chicken and Grits came out on Atlantic Records.
Yeah.
We worked very hard at that. That was our second album attempt with Atlantic Records. The first one didn't come out because they just didn't know what to do with us in the late 90s. But we figured it out, how to market ourselves and to promote ourselves coming from Kentucky. And, we used that to our advantage in the early 2000s to get noticed and recognized for who we are and what we are now, which is the same people, but we've just matured and progressed over the years. We've had kids and families and, as any man, you acquire things and you want to keep them.
Yeah.
You get a lady friend, you have kids. Materialistic things don't mean as much as they used to when you get a little older.
True.
And so here we are now, 2018.
Crazy, right?
Having fun still, still rapping, still touring. Since we went independent in 2008, we try to get in about 100 shows a year. It used to be over 100, but as we've gotten older, we try to be more meticulous and
make sure you don't hit every single spot that'll ask you to come out.
But just finding the right venues,
yeah,
and making sure the venues are dope and the crowd is right, and but we still are getting in close to 100 shows. So
yeah, and you develop relationships over all these years to where you know the spots you should be. You don't want to come too close and cross paths where you have a good situation. And we got crazy relationships on the road, man. We go to the Pacific Northwest, and we really just grind it out and go places that a lot of hip hop artists don't get to go.
Yeah.
And we take pride in that.
Hey, I want to speak about y'all actually going independent in 2000 and 2008. What made you jump from Atlantic, after the success you did have as being part of an actual machine, as they say, with a major label, and say that I want to take this on my own and go independent?
I mean, you foresee the future.
Okay.
We come as Nappy Roots, we come from a generation of Napster, where you know, CDs were $20 a piece, and they came in this long sleeve, so you couldn't steal them out of, you know, disc jockey.
Yeah.
In these major record stores and outlets, and Napster killed all of that. They used technology to figure out how you can get music to the masses without having to go to the record store. Mm-hmm. Best Buy was right before Napster in a sense, but Napster changed the game, and we're post Napster generation. Everything after 2000 is when they figured out that it's illegal to download.
Yeah.
And you can get sued for having a whole hard drive full of music that you went on LimeWire to download and took your time to get. Mm-hmm. And you know, so we're post that, and we're an iTunes generation where iTunes figured it out. They figured out how to get everything into a little box called an iPod. Mm-hmm. And then they figured out how to get that into a phone. And then they figured out streaming. And then streaming went to Spotify. And so since we were in the game with Atlantic post Napster all the way into where it is now, we've had to adjust to the streaming to what it is now.
Yeah.
A lot of artists that came out when we didn't have that opportunity and didn't understand it then, because they were still wanting to try to get the fame and the glory. But it was Scale's idea to actually go independent.
Okay.
Because you can get more per actual album sold if you just stay true to your fans.
And y'all signed with Koch at the time, was it?
No, we signed with Grooves.
Okay.
When we went independent.
Okay, that's
which
what's up.
Is the Universal. It was the Universal independent wing at the time, but
yeah, it's crazy how
labels
can have that. They'll have an independent wing of their label, almost like a farm system.
Well, Grooves was a subsidiary of Fontana, and Fontana was the
distribution company,
independent distribution company for Universal.
Okay,
so we was able to kind of feed into that and still have upstream status and to still the system, but we was operating and maneuvering through that system as an independent.
Right, and you had a lot of labels, like you say, it was an upstream system. You had Fontana, Red. A lot of people realizing that you can go independent. I mean, we can name labels that started from in that era around 2004. You can name them all day, and people. It's just the big label was trying to imitate independence, trying to make you feel, or giving you more of your ownership of your music. And Koch was good at that. And you know, that was the time where artists was becoming more educated, and that middleman whole responsibility was getting smaller and smaller, being the record labels. And now you got people can upload their music right from their phone. Yeah. So it ain't much need for a label, and we was kind of ahead of that, seeing that coming in 2005 when we did leave the label. So, you know, and then being a big group, man, it's, you know, it's so much we all can do individually, and so much we can do as a group. Besides just Nappy Roots, we could break it down any way we wanted to, and we wanted ownership of that. We wanted creativity, you know, ownership of our creativity. And so 2005 was a good time to take that step.
And y'all been independent ever since?
Yeah, and we still going. Like Skinny said, we still do about 100 shows a year.
Okay.
People ask what y'all up to, where y'all been. Like, we straight, we out in the mountains doing crazy shows.
It's crazy because it's like we kind of like Donald Trump. We just feed our base. We are. We just feed to our base, and it might only be 33% of America that cares about Nappy Roots. Yeah. But we can survive, sustain, talk to them, feel good. They believe what we say. Yeah. They don't care what no one else says. As long as Nappy Roots dropping albums, they don't give a shit. You know what I'm saying? And we'll speak to them. As an independent, those numbers still equate to where 4 or 5 individuals, and we take care of a lot of other people that work and help us out. Like we have other different streams of revenue and income, but we have a nice company and family that we've been doing this for a while now, and everybody eats, you know.
That's what's
nice, you know. So independent is for us. It works out, and I can't say it works out for everybody. Some people might need a major label because they might not be a grinder. They might just want to be, you know, taken care of. They might want someone to handle that stuff for them. Yeah. But for us to be that many people, you can't let someone handle that stuff for you, or you find yourself, you know, in a very bad predicament.
As most groups do. You know what I'm saying? Eventually you find out most groups do go through a situation. Especially if you watch Unsung. Like every Unsung eventually ends with somebody saying they had a shit ass deal and then we got free. You know what I'm saying? So at least y'all got free before everything went too hectic, man. And you was able to adapt to a time, because like you had mentioned, a lot of acts from your time, even a lot of acts currently still are struggling with trying to figure out how to brand themselves in a time where everything is so accessible and so in such a fast pace of time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah.
And you'll look up and you're grown. You might have started off at 18. And even I go back to a lot of stories when I was really trying to take rap serious, and you meet these guys that I've been rapping for 8 years. You're like, damn, I only been rapping for 2.
Yeah.
And you feel like you out rap by this guy who's been rapping, but he might not be as grimy as you and getting up and working at it every day. He's just been freestyling on the corner, but he ain't really practiced his craft.
Yeah.
He didn't put 10,000 hours into it.
Yeah.
And so, as you get older, you see things and you're able to adapt, and you have to as an artist, not a rapper, but as an artist, you have to adapt to the times. Yeah. Not necessarily change with them, but you have to adapt. If it's cold outside, you put a coat on. When it's warm, you put on shorts. So as an artist, you have to change, or if not, you will get left behind, or you will not be talked about.
Look, and one thing I've seen artists do since the 90s and through the 2000s as far as adapting with times is not sticking to just being an artist, like developing several streams of revenue, whether it be merchant, whether it be clothes, whether it be anything. Y'all got beer. Like, how did you find this stuff?
A lot of things, though.
Yeah, but I want to talk about this craft beer situation, because when I first heard about it, I'm like, so we got 2 brothers talking about craft beer, and I know them from rap. But let me explain how all this came about, man. Like, what made y'all get into the craft beer lane?
We drink it, for one thing. Like, we drink craft beer. I've always loved good beer.
Okay, so you're not like a Budweiser person?
Nah, not at all.
Okay.
Anymore. I respect it.
Yeah.
There was a time for it, and there's still a time and place for it, but I rarely ever drink that kind of beer. Call me bougie, whatever.
All right, man.
But I've earned it. But see, we drink a lot of it, but also we see a void, man. Yeah. Being that I love craft beer, I realized that not enough of my family and friends even know about craft beer.
True.
So it's kind of a passion of ours to introduce like black people to craft beer, or to better things, period. But in this particular case, craft beer. I get with my friends all the time, and they be like, "Oh shit, what you drinking now?" And I put them on to it, and they actually like it by the end of it. It's just, it hasn't really been marketed to the black audience, and we want to be a big part of that, want to be pioneers to that. Yeah. And it's also a good business that we enjoy being a part of. We travel around the country, going to breweries, and we was like, this is something we really could transition to from rap.
That's what's up. Hey, so what's the name of the brand, and what am I sipping right here?
This is, our brewery is called Atlantucky.
Okay.
Brewery. And we're basically just home brewing, learning the ropes to really making beer. But this right here is the New England IPA.
Okay.
It's meant to be hazy, slightly bitter. If you know your craft beer, you know about East Coast IPA.
Yo, I was joking. I said, Scales was up here talking about beer like how people talk about weed. You know what I'm saying? When they come through, they want to talk about the level of THC. And I'm like, bro, he breaking it down right now with the beer.
We take it serious, man. Check us out on Instagram. It's Atlantucky. Representing from the whole Southeast, from Kentucky to Atlanta, but we take beer real serious.
Now, how hard was it for you two to kind of break into this area right here? You know what I mean? Because I'm assuming that there is a lot of people trying to do home brews and trying to do craft beers like that. Like, how hard was it for you two to break in?
Based off of what we do as Nappy
we're
Roots,
breaking in.
Okay. Not that hard. Again, like Scale said, we travel a lot, so we've hit craft brewers and breweries that, the craft brewers might come to the show. I'm like, yo, check out my spot. And we're like, all right, we'll come through. Just like a dispensary. We're going to a dispensary like it ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? We'll go check out your seeds and your stems and see how everything is working. But on the other side of that is something that's more legal and more accessible to everyone else. It is beer. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's a steep learning curve at the beginning of it.
Okay.
Of just trying to absorb it all. It's like an onion.
I could believe that, man, because
it's kind of heavy at first, but it's like laying bricks. You lay one layer at a time. You just gotta take it at what it is. But the opportunities that are in front of in regard to hip hop, and beer, like there's a lot of people that are pushing liquor and hard liquor down our throats.
True.
That's the thing to do.
Right. True.
And that shit'll kill you. True. You know what I'm saying? But craft beer and beer in itself, a beer a day is not gonna kill you, and you can figure out how has other people create their own way to express art.
Okay.
Because it's an art form to it, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's very organic.
Level, it's very.
It even into the artwork. Like if you ever see some craft beer artwork, like it's not like I say, it's not Budweiser. You know.
Yeah, and it's wide open. Like cannabis is great. We love cannabis. Everything that's going on with it. But it's not legal in so many places.
No.
You know, and as we get older and try to do everything the right way, beer is, and beer, one of the main ingredients is hops. And it's the direct cousin of cannabis. Yeah, so it's kind of the same game, man.
That's what's up.
Yeah,
that's what's up, man. And also, you know, and shout out to Nug Nation. I'm actually speaking with them on Monday. We're gonna be doing a over the phone interview real quick. But I do know that y'all actually dabbled with them as well. I saw y'all in an animated weed form recently, man.
Those are peoples, man.
Okay.
And Ink Monster. Shout out to Reed and all the people over there at Ink Monster, where the Nug Nation Studios is at. They're on the big things out there in Denver, Colorado, man, and they're pushing the envelope for various reasons. You know, the legalization of marijuana opened the doors for a lot of different small ventures to pop up off of that. You know, Incredibles is a edible company. Excuse me, the beer's got me. But it's an edible company. They make like dope ass candy bars.
Okay.
And they're serious about it. And they have 3 or 4 different locations. And the regulations, they figured out the paperwork. They figured out how to work, you know, to benefit them. And they're making product out of marijuana to where it makes it.
Yeah, that'll help too.
It's helping people. You know what I'm saying? Marijuana is good for the culture of hip hop.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Marijuana is here for everybody.
Oh man, look, that's the theme of our show.
You know what I'm saying?
I love it, and it's coming.
For everybody,
the CBDs are here. But another thing about beer, real quick, is that if you live in Georgia or Alabama, the rules have just changed.
Yeah,
like they have just changed this past fall.
When it comes to beer?
When it comes to beer,
okay.
The laws have changed. The breweries can now sell beer. So this is gonna be a major hangout this year. You'll see a lot of people starting to hang out at breweries. And I want to start doing events, inviting everybody out, man. Come have a beer. It's more of a safe environment than bars to me.
That's what's up. So do y'all have your own brewery out here or that we can go kick it at?
Oh yeah.
Okay, that's what's
got
up.
A secret location.
That's what's up. All right, we gonna go pull up.
But it's gonna stay that way for the next year or so.
Good.
You know,
y'all are invited though.
That's what's up, man. Hey, well, Live Hip Hop Daily, we definitely invited, and we gonna pull up. We gonna pull up like we pull up. How do you like that rose blunt?
I'm about to tell you. Give me let me see where it takes me. I don't taste anything, and I mean that in a good way. Bro, I was skeptical. I was very skeptical.
I feel like Scales needs like a critique show. You know what I mean? Just everything you do sound a little bit like expert wise. You know what I mean?
I know how to fake it though. I know how to make it look like I really know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, man.
But this is good.
But let's talk a little bit more about the weed. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, the show is called CashColorCannabis. Talk about when y'all fell in love with Bud, man.
Shit, when I flunked out of college, I didn't smoke until I flunked out, and then my niggas like, what else you got to lose? I was like, you know what, you right.
Damn, it's Friday.
And then I hit it, and that shit opened up all kind of crazy ideas. I got back into school.
Okay.
I maintained a 2.5 GPA.
See what weed do for you?
I didn't try too hard. I didn't want to stand out because I was still rapping, and we were signed to a record label.
Yeah.
So I was managing being signed to Atlantic Records.
Yeah.
A few people knew, but I was trying to balance out rapping in school, but it helped me get through college. I've been smoking it ever since, like every day.
I don't know if this is just me, but I thought everybody was like this. My first few times I did not like it, dog. You know, I said it's got to be something to it. Because I was looking for weed to be like alcohol.
Yeah.
To smoke and just be ready to go party.
Yeah.
I mean, I was 14, still in high school, so yeah, we was smoking early.
14, talking like he like 20 something. Yeah, like
we was drinking cases of beer like at 13. I'm from Millersville, Georgia.
Oh, he's from GA?
Yeah, I'm from GA.
Okay.
I'm country boy. We
so y'all been drinking in them fields for forever.
Yeah. But weed to me didn't do what alcohol did, so I kept waiting for that fun to kick in. But as I got older, I started to see it's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
And I guess I started appreciating it in college. It just made college so much funner.
You know what? Nah, that's good, yo. I let my guests do their thing, man. I don't want to throw off my question.
No, I gotta pass it before I get too fucking out.
I feel you.
Ain't this, that's what the show is about.
You know what's crazy though? Again, thinking about being able to actually watch Nappy Roots and kind of do the whole blow up thing. I wanted to ask your opinion about how you see the industry now, because there's so much stuff that in the 2000s, mid 2000s, early 2000s that would happen now would be tame. You know what I'm saying? Like I was speaking with my wife a little while ago about how y'all had a video that was on BET Uncut that I'm pretty sure right now would not be on BET Uncut. Like it wouldn't even be close. You know what I'm saying?
Nah. Like, yeah, we've done nothing uncut. Definitely.
What we have on BET Uncut?
I don't know. We hadn't done any raunchy videos. But I get your point though.
Uncut,
people. Yeah.
Hold on, because I have a chick in my mind. She's dark skinned and she's singing in this video, right?
Probably heads up.
It's not heads up. Though. But no,
I mean, it was shit. But yeah, no, people do way crazier things than videos, or just being artists. Period.
Yeah.
You could wear it. Nah, I won't even get into that.
On that though, my take on the industry now, just because of what it used to be in the early 2000s, it's like you can't look at it like that.
Yeah.
You got to look at it in the generational sections that it's in as hip hop.
Right.
We try to encompass from when hip hop started all the way to now, and you want to try to pick your top 5 or 10 best MCs.
Yeah.
And have a list of who's the best MC from the last 30 years.
You can't
do that. You got to break it down in almost 5 or 10 year blocks.
Yeah.
Like I have a son, and when I started rapping, he was born.
Yeah.
My guys was at the hospital. We went and did probably like our first or second or third show. He's about to graduate high school now.
What does he listen to?
He listens to everything.
Oh, okay.
He's hip to a lot of stuff that I didn't know he was hip to. So we can have a cool conversation, but he likes some things that maybe I have to fall back a little bit and listen from his perspective and see how he's coming, and then I can see how he's coming, and then at our age, we're so quick to hate on the next generation. Just like our parents were so quick to hate on our music. We can't be that way if you got kids or you're growing old in hip hop. You look like an old man and a bitter old man. You don't want to be a bitter old hip hop man.
Nah.
You got to embrace the next generation and teach them, and you'll learn some things, and your whole life will be that much more open to just other things. Do I want a tattoo on my face and colored hair and funny gold teeth? No, I don't.
Yeah.
But I like Cash Money. Yeah. I know when Baby did it, it was dope.
Yeah.
I know when Lil Wayne did it, and Juvenile and Trick Daddy did it, it was dope.
Yeah.
I like gold fronts, but I'm not about to fuck my teeth up as an old man. I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying? I love hip hop. You know what I'm saying? I love the beginning of it. I love the golden era. I appreciate our era when Bubba Sparks and Petey Pablo and Nappy Roots and Outkast and Goody Mob, and that's my era.
That's country
and
rap.
You won't get that back.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that because it's not coming back that you got to hate on the next generation that's coming forward.
Yeah, nah.
You got to be open to it. As hip hop,
that was a great era you just
as
dropped.
hip hop connoisseurs, you have to be open to the next generation, which is Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
You know, and you can put T.I. in there, and you can put JayZ and 50 and Gucci and
hey, which is the
2
Migos.
Chainz and Migos and
you watched the evolution of hip hop on Netflix.
It's all good.
Yeah.
It showed you how Grandmaster Cass, he was upset at Run DMC, like, because they was changing the style.
Look,
it was so much different. Yeah.
I tell people, even when you listen to rhymes, like I'm listening to KRS-One, My Philosophy.
Oh my God.
He throw at least
that was ahead of his time.
He throw at least 3 disses at 2 rappers alone. I'm listening to LL and Run DMC get hit at the same verse. You know what I'm saying? Like the game has just changed so much, because like at one point you're looking at Run DMC like, yo, y'all whack. Like that's crazy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's crazy as shit, knowing that. Yeah. That's what's up, man. Wait, was he going? Okay, all right.
But I got you. It's errors. You're right. It's errors, man.
Yeah.
But again, even now, if it wasn't for the South, we don't know where this shit would be at. If it was just the East and the West, and the whole thing I always say, when the East and the West was kind of battling and fighting, and we lost 2 of the best MCs that gave us art.
Yeah.
The South came up.
Yeah.
Soon as Tupac and Biggie died, Master P, Cash Money.
Don't say that too loud. It might be a conspiracy theory.
But it was already Ghetto Boys. It was already UGK.
Yep.
You already had kind of Suave House and 8 Ball.
Oh, true. 8 Ball and G.
You had a lot of South artists doing it, but then you had T.I. and you had, Luda. You had a lot of other artists come through to represent on a maybe more of a lyrical standpoint, but It's a generational thing.
What I liked about with the South, and it's crazy we got to this hip hop conversation. What I think the South really gave to the game was they taught people how to sell without going through a label. You know what I mean? Like
independence.
If you could imagine what wouldn't have happened if you didn't know about how P was selling, how 8 Ball and them was selling, how all these acts was selling on like shit. For you to have somebody like even them Player Flies in them.
Rap a lot. All of
But you know what? They
Selecto hits.
Didn't they get it? Didn't they get a lot of that swagger from like the Northwest, like from the West Coast?
Hey, you know, I say the Bay gets no love when it comes to
the
the
Bay
style
was
they get, boy.
been on the independent movement. But you're right. The South did it on a major level.
Yeah. They put it in your face because I mean, we was talking about. I had every. I never had a Masterpiece CD, but I had every tape. Every tape. I had every single tape of his, man. Let me.
I don't know. It's too smooth.
Over here, like this fucking love blunt.
Yeah, and it was all the way they put them out. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking like, yo, the way he's putting them out is not like I gotta wait 3 months and watch these ads go by in every single magazine and then the album come out. They like, yo, I got it on my own. I'm gonna put it out right now. Yeah,
we had a record store.
Shook people up.
We had a record store called E.T.'s Music, which was the first kind of independent, black-owned college student record store outside of right off the campus of Western Kentucky where we hooked up.
Yeah.
And that's all. That's a lot of what we sold was Master P, a lot of Trick Daddy.
Okay.
A lot of Atlanta record stuff. Before we even got signed, we was just fucking with who was hot, and we got it from some really good distribution companies.
Okay.
So we was able to get a lot of what was popping all over the country. We brought it back to Bowling Green, Kentucky, and we was the hippest spot. But we was so hip to what Master P and how he was doing it. We was getting everything ahead of time. We was able to sell it that Thursday before you was able to sell it on that Tuesday.
That's what's up.
So everybody came to us first, but we was hip to everything they was doing, and we just respected their grind. And Wu-Tang, and Cash Money, and all those independent labels. Not the Wu-Tang. They kind of flipped it and was able to diversify their artists into different labels. But
for real, right?
That was ingenious. But
shout to the RZA.
That's what we looked at as to how we applied our whole strategy as Nappy Roots.
Yeah.
And it was just we absorbed hip hop like a sponge.
That's what's up.
And spit it back out.
I know y'all have a podcast as well. You know what I mean? Like, speak to us about that as well, because that's another arm of Nappy Roots that y'all sit down in a circle and y'all have whole conversations. What's the Nappy Roots podcast about, and what do y'all speak about?
It's called Nappy Hour podcast.
All right.
And the basis of it is just based around just us, Skinny Scales, and we got 808 Blake, and we got Boogie, our co-host, and we just pretty much just interview movers and shakers and grinders.
Okay.
People that don't necessarily have a 9-to-5, but they just figured out how to work and survive within even the hip hop, diaspora of how everybody in hip hop can get its money in hip hop.
Yeah.
And if you have your craft right, you can, figure that out. Whether you make shoes or you make beats or you sell records or you're a manager.
Yeah.
Or you're a producer.
Yeah.
Or a lawyer or, whatever or a photographer, videographer, we just interview people that are just interesting and just talk to them.
And we love to get people who took that leap, like who left their 9-to-5 or who left a comfortable position and went and pursued their career, even if they hadn't made it all the way yet. We like to hear that story, and it encourages us because that's what we did.
That's what's up. That's what's up, man. So Nappy Roots is definitely a well-rounded outfit for those who've been wondering what Nappy Roots been doing. They diversified themselves very well.
Yeah. I mean, at one point we felt like being too famous wouldn't be good for us.
Okay.
If we really let the label exploit who we really are fully outright, that wouldn't be good for the brand. We wouldn't be here right now if they did that 15 years ago. Like,
case in point, like, you know what I'm saying? People often talk about some of the problems they did run into with their labels. What problem did you have with Atlantic as far as your image, as far as your image and them wanting to take it to a lane that you didn't want to go down?
I don't really like talking about that shit because I'm past that. For real. Like, that was so long ago. But they always gave us creative control.
Okay.
We knew we had to do something different. We knew we was coming from Kentucky.
Yeah.
So we played on that as marketing, but we didn't want to be that every time we came out.
I feel you.
So when we felt like they was about to say, okay, it worked the first time.
Do it again.
Let's do it again. And we're like, we feeling the vibe, so we'll do a song like that. But when you want us to to do a whole album like that again, and then if it don't work, do it again. Like, nah, motherfucker, nah, that's not what we about. You know, we gonna spit some real shit, and if it encompasses and makes an album over time, then that's what it is. But for us to keep turning around shit that y'all just want to keep shooting out to save the lights in your job, that's not what the fuck we're about. Because at that time, again, the labels were collapsing when we was putting out projects.
Sure were, yeah.
It was downsizing every fucking week. Motherfuckers was merging.
Yeah.
People were losing their jobs, and to them, you're just a SKU. You're just a barcode. You're just a number on a piece of paper. You're just a line at the accounting department, either a profit or a loss. And anybody that's a part of the profit, you take all that money and you throw a stupid party and give the richest artist on the label all the things he wants in his deal.
Yeah.
All the little small artists support the big artists. The big artists can flop every now and then, but the little artists and their successes support the big artists. I feel like Nappy Roots, Fat Joe, Little Kim, Trick Daddy, Brandy, Twista, and those artists came before us. But at one point in time, we all kept the lights running for whoever was on the pop side. It had nothing to do with the hip hop side, but it was all the income statement to the tax, the shareholders and the reports at the end of the quarter. Like, it gets that serious when you get into the business side of music. They don't care.
That's crazy.
And then for us, it's like, nah, that's not what I got in it for. I thought we was gonna be a family. I wanted to get what they got. We got the plaques, we got the nominations, we got everything we was hoping for.
Yeah, all that happened. All that happened.
But even then, when I feel like for me, when I got it, I was like, shit, now what? Plaques on the wall now. In a room I don't even go into. Like, who gives a shit? Like, fuck that. My son can't eat no fucking plaque. I got 3 kids now. When I started, I had 1, and I'm here. I'm good. Like, I'm not tripping. I'm just saying, like, what I thought I wanted out of it when I was younger, I grew out of that. And now I'm here, and I still have to do it because I have responsibilities, and I'm cool with that. So we have to figure out other things to stay Nappy Roots and have fun. Yeah. If I didn't do shit but rap, I'd probably never see this guy as much as I do when I make beer and we talk about podcasts. And we go on the road and do shows. Yeah. If it was just based off Nappy Roots, when the last 2 guys left, we would have probably been over. But it's not about that. It's about us being family and having fun and absorbing what hip hop is.
Solid.
And I think we're at a stage where artists, rappers understand that this is a business, man. We're here to sell a product. You know, you could love rap, it could be sacred to you. Music is sacred to you personally, but when it comes to selling a product, you got to be on your business, man. Yeah. And you got to work towards it, put 40 hours a week into it or more. Yeah. So that's how we're definitely at that point. At the age we are now, we understand it's a good business. It's a good business, and we're blessed to have a brand that we can continue to profit off of and build on.
That's what's up.
I feel like this. I think a lot of artists or people that get into hip hop think that they can make it big with 1 hit, and they ain't got to do shit else the rest of their life.
Yeah, I'm watching something right now.
You can get a check though.
But look at every artist. Look at JayZ. He's still working. He's still getting up every day and answering them phones and getting out there and making those things happen.
True.
Look at any artist you can think of, even the Gucci, T.I., 2 Chainz. Everybody's working. You have to work. Look at Gladys Knight. Look at Aretha Franklin. Look at Smokey Robinson. Look at Stevie Wonder. Yeah. You know, Whitney Houston was about to go out that night and turn up. Like, make sure you rest in peace. But you know what I'm saying? It's a job that you have to do as an artist every day the rest of your life. This is for life if you're an artist. If you really love it, you can make money off of it the rest of your life. But if you don't appreciate that, you'll be done tomorrow and don't know what happened. You know what I'm saying? And that's the real part that we don't really get as fans of hip hop that want to say, I just want to be an artist. And then you just start blocking the highway up with non-talented people. But if everybody was just, I'm gonna pursue this because people in front of me paved the way, we can grind and get it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's what's up, man. Well, I appreciate y'all for coming through with the conversation tonight. For those who want to follow you, those who want to find out more about the beer, those who just want to find out more about Nappy Roots, where maybe even where they can find you at next time y'all on the road, how can they do that? NappyRoots.com. I like y'all, man. Now, we didn't give y'all social media handles. NappyRoots.com.
Well, we made it real easy. As soon as you get to NappyRoots.com, that'll be one of the first things pop up. All of our handles, but I mean, whatever you own, search Nappy Roots, and we can start there. Start our friendship there.
That's what's up. Y'all gonna be at South by Southwest this year?
On the 15th, we have an event scheduled as of right now.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna be down there on the 15th, man. We definitely gotta pick up like when we pull up in there. Yeah.
You got a stage? Like, what?
Ooh, we might talk about.
Oh,
that.
y'all working? Okay.
Look, we might talk since y'all gonna be in town. Nappy Roots is Nappy Roots, man.
Yeah,
we might be able to make
we
some
still
man.
rap.
I'm about to say they still do they thizzle, man.
Of course. Well, we have a beer launch that's coming out this month.
Okay. Oh, word. Yeah, speak about that.
Yeah.
So we'll keep you posted.
Is it gonna be? Okay.
It's our bourbon barrel stout on Monday night. It's called the Humdinger.
All right. So Herb, you ready to get drunk on Monday? He said yes. Well, I appreciate y'all for pulling up with us, man. Definitely kick it with us later. You know what I'm saying, after show, and do what we do. And that's it, man. Cash Color Campus podcast, high level of conversation. Definitely get the Live Hip Hop Daily app. Watch all the shows on Live Hip Hop Daily. It's 24-hour hip hop station. And if you want to check out the podcast, you can subscribe to us, man. Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio now. Shout out to iHeartRadio for finally accepting Cash Color Cannabis. So we on iHeartRadio, on TuneIn, Google Play Music, and all that. So check us out. Cash Color Cannabis, a high level of conversation. We out.